This podcast is sponsored by BB Makes, a family-run personalised gift company. From sports bottles to team merchandise, BB Makes has you covered. They will happily work with you to create unique designs for your perfect gift, with a wide range of products, all able to be personalised with names, quotes, pictures and much more. Head over to bbmakes.com. That's www.bebemakes.com and use the code COIS so they know that we sent you. Oh, and of course, come on you Spurs.
Welcome to the Spurs News Podcast, your home for all things Tottenham Hotspur. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome to a new season here on the Spurs News Podcast. I am Sam, back once again, and joining me to discuss all things Tottenham Hotspur this season, it's my new regular partner in crime on this show, it's Stefan.
Hey, I kind of recognise your voice. It's been a while.
Yeah, well, yes, I'm back, reinvigorated. I've gone through the Tottenham cycle, you see, which is the end of the season, sort of May. I'm done. I need a break. I've had enough heartbreak for 1 year. I go into June with a kind of anger. I'm so fed up of supporting this club. I don't want to run a page anymore. I don't want to do a podcast anymore. I'm fed up. I'm sick to death of all the disappointments. Then I go into July and I'm kind of like, oh, I like that new home shirt. Oh, that player seems quite good. Who's that new? Oh, he seems. Oh yeah. Oh, fuck it. We're gonna win it all, and that's where I'm at now. So hello and welcome.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. That's where we're at. So a little bit of admin to kick off. Hello everybody. As discussed, I am Sam. This is Stefan. If you are a listener returning, thank you so much. If you are brand new to us, because this is a good starting point, welcome. I am from Bristol, just like Gary Mabbott. Before people slag me off, one of our greatest players was one of me, so don't be mean. Steph, you know, you're Essex.
From where Mark Wright was from, yeah, brilliant. That's not really the same sort of thing, is it? Really?
No. But you got the accent. It's fine. You're all right. No one's going to be having a pop at you for being a Spurs fan. You're okay. Yeah. But yeah, so well, welcome. We've got lots to do, but I'm going to be a little bit self-indulgent to kick off with, because this show is being recorded on a very special day, and that is your birthday, Steph. So happy birthday.
Oh, thank you, mate. Thank you.
And because it's your birthday, I got you a treat.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So your name is Stefan.
Yes.
And it is an incredibly difficult name to find something that they're not butchering. Like, so for example, if you go online, you can find like happy birthday to you, to like every name. Like someone has gone out there and recorded practically every name on the planet. But for you, it's like I can find Stephen, Stefani, you know. All
you'll find Stephen everywhere.
Yeah. So it's just like it's been impossible. But then I found one.
Oh gosh.
But it's unique.
Oh God.
So a little bit self-indulgent, everybody. But Steph, this is just for you.
It's your birthday today,
Stefan!
It's your birthday today,
Stefan!
Rock and roll, let's celebrate!
We
You
will!
lose control and you cut the cake!
Cut that
Tonight is your destiny! Wait!
Oh, wait with
so
me!
share toast with your closest mates! It's your birthday today,
Stefan!
That song kicks ass, by the way.
Mate, I don't know where to go from there.
Everything is downhill from there, I feel.
That was interesting.
Oh, I went to a lot of effort to find that, and all I got was that's interesting. No,
thank you. I
no.
am very thankful.
Balls to you. It's the last time I make an effort. God. You can tell our relationship's dying. The effort's gone now, and when I do make an effort, that's what I get. Right? I see. No, it's not. It's not what you said. It's the way you said it.
It's the way you said it. That's
Yeah.
the one. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. That was very interesting.
No, you can't just keep saying the word interest. No, right, fine.
Double down on it. Yeah.
So for everyone listening who thinks that was a nice gesture on my behalf and thought that was highly amusing, and I found something with his name in it, please send in a message. Let me know that you're on my side. And anyone who doesn't agree with me, just keep it to yourself.
I can't believe you managed to find something with my. I mean, I don't quite pronounce it stiff.
I did.
But
I did find it, and you're just poo-pooing. No, you're not impressed. You don't care. I can tell. I've got a running order for the show today, and the very next thing on my list, other than saying hello and saying happy birthday to him, is titled Hellos. And the hellos are to the players joining us so far for the 2024-25 season. I'm going to go through them, and you just let me know your thoughts on their signing, on what you've seen in pre-season, if you've seen anything. And we'll go for it. Yeah, so we're going to start with the return. So his loan ended. A new loan was agreed. Timo Werner, all the fans' favourite German currently, is back with us for another season.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
It's not one that makes me go, oh my God, yes. However, as a squad player, he showed last season that he was very adept at the way that Ange wants his wingers to play.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that is a solid signing.
Yeah.
It's not a fanfare and excitement. However, that is a proper solid squad signing.
Yep. Okay. The next one joining us, he was signed. Well, it was announced in February. He signed the 1st of July, and that is Lucas Bergvall.
Mate, that's one of my excitements.
Okay.
Like this kid. I don't expect him to be starting every game. I'm expecting quite a lot of off the bench sort of appearances.
Yeah.
But that kid has it all. Like, from what I've seen in pre-season, he has got so much faith in his own ability just to get the ball and go, okay, what can I do with it?
Yeah.
Oh, there's players around me. Okay, 1 second, shuffle here, shuffle there. Right, I'm free now. What can I do with it?
Okay.
You know, he looks like he is going to be a heck of a talented player.
Yeah.
So I'm quite excited. Okay, this season, like I say, I fully expect him to be more kind of off the bench and like a rotation option, maybe get some of the Europa League games, cup games, but I'm excited for that one.
Okay. The next one, signed from Leeds United, is Archie Gray.
I was buzzing for this one.
You were, yes.
This one I was buzzing for. I was buzzing this, and I am one of those fans. I am buzzing for this purely on the bits I've seen of last season.
Yeah.
Where he kind of played a right back a few times. And
not a few times. He basically played right back for the season.
Which kind of had us going, oh, okay, so that's the replacement to Spencer. Fair enough. And then he's joined and gone, no, I'm a versatile midfielder. And I'm like, wow. Every time I've signed him on Football Manager, which is a lot of times I've signed him on Football Manager, he's always played as midfield for me, like a ball-winning midfielder. Yeah,
other football management simulations are available. Carry on.
Yep. And then pre-season, we kind of saw him deployed midfield, centre-back, you know. So versatility, I think, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a player I was excited, very, very excited for us to sign.
Okay. Yeah. Now, I'm going to say this right now. I am very, very sorry for my pronunciation. Okay. And I will learn it and I will do better. But our next signing, joining us in January, but signed now, is Jan Min-hyuk.
Yeah. Now, I have got absolutely no idea about this player.
Okay.
Hands up, yep. I had never heard of him before it came out that we were in talks and we were going to sign him, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did
you have to Danny Rose's ass?
I had to Danny Rose's ass, yeah.
Yep.
There's going to be obvious links to Sonny. Which I think we need to be very careful of, because we don't want to kind of just go, wicked, okay, you're the next Son, because we've done that with enough young strikers coming through and gone, you're the next Kane, and we know how that's gone.
Yeah, I'm on my sixth Lee Barnard by now, let alone...
Exactly. Exactly. So I don't want to kind of get in with that already. But like I say, I don't know pretty much anything about him. So for me, that's kind of like, new exciting talent. Okay.
New exciting talent. Okay. And finally, finally so far, I have to say, because obviously the window's still open, we've signed Dominic Solanke.
Now, this is one I'm in two minds with this.
Okay.
The cynic in me looked at his stats and went, wow, we've just paid like what's going to be going up to the 65 million-ish mark.
Potentially, yeah.
Eventually, for a player who has literally had one decent goal-scoring season.
Yeah.
Before that, his highest Premier League goals was 6. And I'm like, that's a lot of money for someone who's not exactly prolific.
Yeah.
And I was a bit nervous, a bit worried. And then we spoke, me and you spoke, me, you and Dan spoke.
Yeah.
And, we kind of went through that, but that's the new way the scouting is working is we know we're looking more at data and the statistics of overalls more than just going, okay, he scored 12 goals, he scored 10 goals, he made 7 assists, that sort of thing. There's a lot more data in it. And then when you go into that and you realise, okay, these guys are doing the work. They have announced that he was kind of the early transfer window. That's our man.
Yeah.
That's who we want. We've done the research. We've looked into all the stats. He's the man that ticks the boxes. Big Ange has spoken to him. And after speaking to him, went, yep, that's the man we want. That's the guy.
Yep.
And for me, I'm like, okay, that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
You only have to look at the amount of people that have spoken to Ivan Toney and he's still at Brentford. So that, if the manager has spoken to this player and the manager has gone, yes, this guy, then I'm like, cool, that's the guy it is.
Okay.
He scored 19 goals for a Bournemouth team who, with no disrespect to Bournemouth whatsoever, do not have the same level of quality as we have in our midfield and up front.
Okay. Yeah.
So you would assume if he's got 19 goals for them in that squad, he is going to get the chance to at least match that again next season.
Yeah.
And adding a 15 to 20 goal striker was a very high priority, and that's what they've done. So, yeah.
See, you've just said loads of words then, but you still don't sound that convinced, by the way. You kind of like, we went through that and you're like, oh yeah, that guy, oh yeah, I'm excited by this, yeah, I don't really know him, and then you got the Solanke and you were like, that was, okay. So I'll just do a very quick run through for myself. Timo Werner is a player I like. He isn't a out-and-out goal scorer from out wide for sure, but if you watch him in the way he beats a man and delivers the ball, Solanke's going to feast on that. So keep an eye on Timo Werner's stats with regards to assists and goals creation this season, because last season for us he was right up there, one of the best in the league, which a lot of people won't believe, but check it, it's true.
Yeah,
Lucas Bergvall for me is a player that when we got linked to him and we stole him from Barcelona, I then paid attention to him. He was a name that had been thrown around a while because Barcelona and I think it was possibly Inter Milan, it had been kind of linked to him, and I'd kind of seen like, I think it was like some 17, 18-year-old kid, like, and now there's some bidding war, and then all of a sudden we signed him, and I was like, what? Clearly,
where did that come from?
Clearly he broke his leg or something and isn't the player he once was, and we're taking a chance, because this doesn't make sense. But the kid is in pre-season, it's one of those things where pre-season's hard to judge. In my opinion, in pre-season, you don't have the pressure, you don't have the same stress. If he replicates the way he plays in regular games, he will make mistakes at his age. But if he's got the bravery to keep playing, which I think Ange will encourage, He has everything there to really, really do well. Archie Gray, I think, is a massive waste of money, and I'm really disappointed.
Mate, the conversations we had about this signing,
Yeah,
I was ready to drive to Bristol and start beating you.
yeah. Well, you should have. I mean, you should have tried, and when you woke up from being knocked the fuck out, you'd have had a good chat about it. No, Archie Gray. Now, see, it's interesting to me because when we signed him, I think my main thing was I watched Leeds a lot last season. Anyone who watches football on Sky will know that Leeds were basically on every week. So when I was just putting football on, I was typically watching Leeds United. So I watched this kid play as a right back, and he was great. And you looked at him, and he started the game as a central midfielder. That's his role, but he's playing right back, so he's constantly coming forward, constantly getting it. I'm thinking, as an inverted right back, this is it. This kid is phenomenal. And what a great inspired signing this is, because if you've got Pedro Porro and you've got an actual proper rotation option. He's only 18.
Yep.
Keep in mind at this point, Emerson Royale was heading to AC Milan. Jed Spence was heading to Genoa at this point. So I'm like,
yes,
this is great. Like, I'm really impressed with this signing. It's a lot of money, but he's 18. He's English. You know, you pay the premium. So, okay, yeah, dead excited by this. And he signed, and the day he signed, they said, versatile midfielder. And I thought, well, hang on a minute then. So we've not signed him as a right back. Now, in my defence, if you've watched, I really mean this, I think I watched 30 games last season of Leeds United, and I've watched him play right back in 29 of them, if not all of them. It was very strange for me to see that, and I was kind of confused. I was just kind of like, okay, now I don't understand this signing. Like, he's not 18 years old, unless they've got unbelievable faith in him, which I haven't seen. I've not seen him play there enough. That he is going to come in and rock it. Then that is a lot of money to be spent on an 18-year-old that is going to sit on the bench, because he's not dislodging Bissouma, he's not dislodging Bentancur. So like, I'm kind of like, okay, I don't get it. If he's not a rotation option there, have you signed him because he sits on the bench and he covers DM, right back, central? I mean, I watched him in preseason start 2 games at central defence, did okay, you know, obviously, but I'm like, have we bought? I'm like, have we just spent 40 million quid on a jack of all trades, master of none? So that was where I was coming from. I wasn't overtly being negative, or not meaning to be, but I was just very confused by the signing of, okay, where does this guy fit then? Because I don't get it. So my jury's very much out on that, and I'm hoping to be by Christmas saying, what a signing! Whoa, God, that
what
kid.
a guy!
Yeah. Jan-Man Hyuk, which I'm butchering, apologies everybody, appears to be a very speedy winger. Scores goals. You definitely can draw Son comparisons with the style that he likes to come in and shoot. But Son is world class, and this kid is a kid. He's joining us in January. There is a very, very cynical way of looking at this, and that's looking at Son's age and looking at replacing him with a young South Korean superstar when the club has quite significant income invested in South Korea, Japan, Asia. If the kid is a very good player, which in the K-League, etc., he's an exceptional young player, and he can come to Europe, learn, he's going to have Son there with him as his club captain, and he can learn and contribute, then really the sky's the limit to him, and if he's coached well, then he can emulate his hero, who is Son. And there's no doubt about it. You know, you're signing a player with great potential. It's now up to the club and those around in the coaching staff to help him realise it. And obviously the player as well. The player's got to come here with a determination, not come here with a kind of like, yay, I've made it. Where's all my money? Where's all the women at? You know, you can't live that way. So it's going to be interesting to see where that goes, because again, it could be a very exciting proposition for us, but at the same time, there is a little bit of a cynic in me looking at that with one raised eyebrow, like, really? Okay. And finally,
I can understand. I can understand where that cynic's coming from. Yeah.
Well, for 20 years of Enoch and Levy, I'm
How can I keep the market open? Oh, sign the next thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Now Dominic Solanke is an interesting one because he's not a player I've ever liked. And this is one of these silly things, but there's no reason. There's no reason at all that he's not ever done anything or anything in a game. He's just a player I've never, whatever, Dom Solanke. Maybe because I watched him for the academy at Chelsea, perhaps that's just tainted my view of him forever.
I was going to say that's going to be the reason. But yeah,
it probably is. Stupidly, it probably is that it's just in my brain. It's just been, he was that Chelsea bastard who scored in that under-20s cup final. But he just generally, there's something that has always bugged me. Now, what was interesting is when we were linked to him, we were linked to him early in the window, and then it all just went quiet, and then obviously we were linked to him strongly, and then we signed him.
Yeah.
When we were linked to him earlier in the window, I was talking to someone I know who is far smarter than me, is a qualified FA coach, and also works as a scout. And I was going through different sort of I really don't like it. And he said to me, Tottenham are looking beyond the obvious now. He said, you got to look at what Brighton's model has been, and Tottenham have tried to emulate that and improve upon it. And last season with their recruitment, they nailed it. Like Vicario, Van der Ven, these players who came in, look, Doggy was already on his way in, but it's like those players who came in were recruited on the basis of a set criteria of what was needed. And to a certain extent, they were players that maybe most Tottenham fans hadn't heard of as well. Like, here's a player we'd all heard of. Vicario, did many people know who he was? Possibly not. Van der Ven, possibly the same. Now, they are two players that every Tottenham fan's out there are fantastic. And that is kind of where he's pointing to. He's like, well, you got to look at that. Now, if Brighton had recruited those two, one, they'd probably both be joining Chelsea for a combined 150 million this summer. but two, everyone would just be like, wow, Brighton have done it again. That's incredible recruitment. He said, but Tottenham are now looking at it in a very similar way, which is looking beyond the obvious stats. He said, now, if you look at Solanke, and he said this to me, and I'm not smart enough. I don't know. Like, for me, a stat on a player is played 38, scored 19. That's a good return. But like you, that's the first season he's ever done that.
Yeah.
However, if you go back over 5 seasons in the Premier League, his chance conversion rate is very good, but the number of chances he gets is very poor. Like, the number of chances created for him compared to other top strikers in the Premier League was among the lowest. Now, last season, the number of chances created for him jumped massively. Now, Bournemouth were a very different team, like very differently coached, a very good team to watch, very attack-focused, and he scored 19 goals. Now, if you look at the way Ange Ball works and the way he wants us to play, it is very front foot. It is very attacking. It is a lot of crosses driven in, both low, high. Solanke's goals are primarily tap-in, header. It is literally his bread and butter.
He's not a player that's going to pick the ball on the halfway line, run at a defence and bury it bottom corner. That's
Son.
Not so much
we have that. Yeah, we've got Sonny. Yeah. And if we want to miss, we've got Werner.
And we need a box player massively.
And he is it. Now, the second part of it, which is massive for the way Ange likes to play, is out of every forward in the Premier League last season, he pressed and won the ball in the final third more than anybody.
Yep.
And here's the final thing, which is something that Tottenham are really keen on. He played all 38 league games. Now,
oh wow! I didn't realise he didn't miss a game.
No.
That's a bonus.
Yeah. Now, of course, the joke is online the day we signed him, watch his hamstring explode in week 1, which I'm just trying to put out of my head because if that gets manifested, I'm just going to cry. All right. But
First
in
game
theory,
of the season, crunching tackle from Harry Winks, broken leg out for 6 months. That'd be
that'd be about right.
Yeah.
Now we've got Richie has stayed, and so we're in 4 competitions this season, which means there's a very real opportunity for them to rotate, to play different games, to keep themselves fit and push each other. because Richie Fit last season did score goals in our system. He likes Solanke, likes to press, likes to push. So there is a real feeling that we have recruited well there, and it has improved our front line significantly. So that's good.
If Richie had stayed fit last season, I think we would have seen a lot more goals from him because he really was suiting the style of play.
He was. I agree with you.
But last season, he didn't really have anyone pushing him either. Like, he was our striker.
Yeah.
That's it. He now has someone that's going to come in and be like, yeah, I want to play. I played 38 games last season.
Yeah, I want to play 38.
I haven't moved here to come sit on the bench, you know.
No, he's joined to be the number one striker, but he's also joined knowing, and again, no disrespect to Bournemouth, but he's joining a stronger squad. So therefore, he knows at Bournemouth he starts every week. He knows at Tottenham he has to be at his best to start.
He's going to be training hard and performing in matches. Yeah.
So there we go. So that is all the hellos. The next section, mate, guess what this one's called?
Oh, is this a goodbyes?
No, it's don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. Yeah, goodbyes.
Yeah, that as well.
It's called goodbyes.
A few of them.
Now, I'm going to run through this list.
Yeah.
We're going to do, we got to make this short and sharp because I'm looking at this schedule I've got here and I ain't never going to fit all this in otherwise. So, we released, and I'm still going to keep saying this, we released 3 players. The reason why I'm saying this with such an element of shock in my voice is this to me was evidence of any evidence out there that Scott Munn is running the football operations and not Daniel Levy. Because there's no way Daniel Levy doesn't go, keep him. Even if I sell him for £1 million, that's £1 million. There's no way he doesn't say that. But we as a club needed just to get some of these players gone, and we had the opportunity to do it. So the 3 players that were released were Ryan Sessegnon, Japhet Tanganga, and Tanguy Ndombele. So, just very quickly, for me, and I'll hand this to you afterwards, Japhet, I'm delighted that he's gone to Millwall. I'm delighted he had a good season there last year, and I'm hoping he pushes on and really has a good career. He's a wonderful kid and a good, solid defender. Didn't suit Angeball, but really, he's proper Tottenham, and I'm thankful for him. Ryan Sessegnon, he's back at Fulham. I hope he has a wonderful second chapter to his career after an extended 5-year loan with us. His injuries have wrecked his career. If he can just stay injury-free, best of luck to him. I hope you do well. Tanguy Ndombele, I hope whatever is wrong is something that you can recover from. Because, mate, you've thrown a career away where you could have been a global megastar. And instead, I just don't know what's going on there. So on those 3 that we released, do you have any words?
Yeah, all the best. Absolute all the best to Japhet, to Ryan. I hope, like you say, they've joined good clubs for them. And I really hope that they're able to kind of push on with their careers. I hope Ryan can stay injury-free. And get back to the sort of levels that made him look like he was going to be an England starter for a long time and everything else. Japhet, like you say, full Spurs, a player I've really liked for a long time, always kind of put his all in for the team. And I hope the move to Millwall sees him kind of happy playing football and have a good career.
We have also sold Joe Rodon.
Another player who seemed to have a few off-field, potentially, distractions. But a player I liked, like when I actually saw him play, I always liked his style and how he played. So I hope he now carries on and manages to have a good career as well.
Troy Parrott has left. That did hurt me a little, but
that hurt. Yeah, that was a bit of a sad one. I really hoped he was going to have this pre-season to show himself.
Yeah. Troy Parrott has left. Emerson Royale has now left.
Oh, Vibes FC has gone.
Yeah.
That was one of those ones that it's the right move for all the right reasons.
Yeah.
He is a very, very good defender. But unfortunately, it was the going forward that he lacked a bit for us and in our system we needed.
Yeah.
So that was unfortunate. However, AC Milan have got themselves an absolute king. Like, they better look after him and make him happy.
Left with technically on loan, but it's an obligation to buy Pierre-Emile Højbjerg.
A player who never fully I got, if I'm honest. Like, he would do some fantastic things, like winning the ball back and everything else. And then we'd get a free kick or corner against us, and he would just watch his man walk away and score.
I feel I should.
Like,
I feel I made my feelings known on this player so much. I'm not going to say anything else, but I do feel that Polynesian Dan should get a voice here, which is for all those new listeners. Polynesian Dan is a guy who's a personality, part of Spurs News. And Polynesian Dan would want me to say he was reliable in the sense of he was never injured, he was always there, and he always, gave what he could. So
he did, yeah. So good luck to him, and I hope he has a good career.
Three first-team players are currently out on loan, which is Brian Hill, Alejo Veliz, and Dane Scarlett. There will be more added to that, but those are
definitely
currently. Players that are actively looking to be moved on. Apparently, this is press rumours. This is no insider knowledge. But the press believe we are actively trying to sell Reguilon, Lo Celso, Solomon, and Skip.
Nope.
Yeah.
Three of those I accept. And I feel sorry for Solomon. Like, he joined us on a free transfer. He looked pretty good in the few games he played.
Yeah.
Had the injury.
Yeah.
And we've kind of carried on evolving. And unfortunately, because of the injury, it's almost like he's been left behind.
I think the injury has impacted his pace quite significantly.
Yeah.
I mean, he's amazing, and any club looking at him should disregard what I said. Anyway, so those are the hellos, those are the goodbyes. One player who's still with us but won't be available for the Leicester game is Yves Bissouma. Bissouma, following the Bayern Munich friendly, the final friendly, in the lead up to the first Premier League game of the season, decided it'd be a good idea to go out for the night on an absolute bender and take videos of himself inhaling from balloons, which is illegal and can carry a maximum prison sentence of 2 years now. He uploaded that himself to Snapchat, and someone clearly who he thinks is a friend isn't, because they sold it to The Sun. The Sun published it. He issued an apology. The club said, we're going to look into it. And Ange Postecoglou confirmed yesterday in his pre-match press conference he has been suspended for the Leicester game as an internal disciplinary action, and the player now has to win back the trust of him and the whole squad due to his behaviour. He said he is very apologetic, but he now needs to earn that back. We had a mixed kind of reaction to this in our Spurs News chat. Polynesian Dan believes it was heavy-handed, thinks he shouldn't have been suspended for the game, believes if you look around and look at past instances of players doing stupid things, it seems heavy. I'm of the opinion that when you do something like that, and technically it's an illegal activity, the club have to act. He's a senior player in the squad. You've got a lot of young players there, especially, Graham Bergvall just joined in his kind of midfield area. He's supposed to be a role model. He's supposed to be a role model not just to those young players in the club, but as a professional footballer in the Premier League to lots of young people. So I think the club had to act. I think the club had to do something like that. I think looking at stuff in the past, you can look back retrospectively and say different regimes doing things. I know Dan wanted to talk about Hugo Lloris, and he didn't get banned for a game. Again, different coach made that decision. I made my feelings on that very clear on the podcast. I was not happy with that at all. And I think Ange, again, would deal with that very differently. So,
he would have.
Yeah, so look, that is the facts behind it. That's what's happened. My view is the guys really let everybody down. You've had your summer holiday, if you like. You've had this break. He wasn't at an international tournament. He had a good break. You have all of that time to go on holiday, to do silly things, to have drinks and etc. I think it is ridiculously unprofessional to do that following the final friendly in the build-up to the first game of the season. Even if the manager said, like, you know, everyone have a night off or whatever, I just think it's incredibly unprofessional. And
there's a difference between having a night off and going out and getting...
Yeah, I mean, the guy in the nicest he's a prat for doing this. And I agree with Ange. He now has to work really hard to win that faith and trust back. I would say he's going to have to work hard to get back into the team. And I'd like to think other players are going to take the opportunity because he needs to learn that lesson. Last season, he started the season incredible. And it made such a difference to us. But then he completely lost his form.
Threw himself on the floor versus was it Luton when he got sent off?
Yeah, and he just never recovered. He went away to AFCON and he was very ill, contracted malaria. So I don't know the impact that had, but his form wasn't good following the first 10 games. So
no,
we need to see an improvement from him this season. I was hoping we would. This is really disappointing. But maybe, just maybe, the club hitting him so hard for it could be the kick in the ass that he needs. And if it isn't, and his form is like that, I can see him being surplus to requirements pretty quickly.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I think he could. I think between now and January is going to be incredibly important for his future at the club.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. Okay, that is Bissouma's situation. We are now, we do this every week. Again, if you're new listening to the show, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you. You're like halfway through, so you've stuck with us. You're heroes. We every week will open up to fans from our social media. So we're on Twitter with a few thousand people. We're on Facebook with 90-odd thousand people. We're on Instagram with so many people because lovely Laura runs that. And she's so much nicer than the rest of us. And we open it up to basically everyone who across all of those platforms to ask any questions or give any topics. We've done that this week, and we're going to hand over to that now.
Now it's time for your comments from our social media.
We have 3 from Facebook, and we're going to start with Tom Perks. Hello, Tom. Tom says, really good to have you guys back. Hope the families are well. My question is, how much game time do you think Mikey Moore will get this year? It's an interesting one. If you'd asked me at the end of last season or before the start of pre-season, I'd have said he might make the bench for a few cup games. He might start if the draw's favourable. You might see him in the Europa League coming on. I didn't see his involvement being so big. However, he not only impressed the coaching team at the back end of last season with his ability to step up into first team training, he has blown them away in like the tour, the pre-season, and from everything that's being written by every journalist in the know, he is very much a part of the first team squad this year.
He really has come in and gone, yep, okay.
Yeah.
I can do this.
He is the most exciting player I've watched in the academy to what, like, he sort of bum off seat kind of excitement since Marcus Edwards. He really is very, very good. Very, very, he is so exciting to watch, and he's so confident in his ability. Not in an arrogant way. Only watching an interview with him to see that he's very humble. He's very hardworking. He's Tottenham through and through, and he is, as much as this will maybe make a few people twitch, he's one of our own.
I'm ready to be hurt again.
Good. I'm glad. We should all be ready to be hurt again. So for me, I'm actually, Tom, I'm actually not sure. I think we will actually see him more than I could have predicted. The thing that I'm hoping, Ange, I think, is sensible enough to do this, is that they do, if he isn't going to be playing, like, so for example, if they're looking at it in, he isn't going to make the bench or whatever, they allow him to play for the under-21 still on a regular basis, because there are a number of players in our history who are so talented in different roles. The two that jump straight to my mind, Josh Onomah and Kyle Walker-Peters, and they were dragged to the first team squad by Mauricio Pochettino, and they didn't get to play ever. They just didn't make the first team. They didn't get to go out on loan.
Them training. He wanted them training, didn't he?
Yeah.
And that was the ruin.
And they never played for the under 20. And then all of a sudden they did get there. It failed. So for me, I hope they do this well. I've not seen them manage a young talent yet, so we're about to see. Interestingly, various people have also said Will Lancashire is very much part of the first team squad as well. So
he's a very talented young man as well.
He is, and he's also we signed him for Sheffield United, but he's also a Tottenham fan, which a lot of people didn't know. So there we go. Ryan Miller says, has there been a Tottenham departure in this window you've been disappointed in? What Tottenham transfer rumour are you most wanting to happen? For me, it's Eze. Is there a departure in this window you've been disappointed in?
Yes.
Okay, which one have you been disappointed in?
Brian Gill. The whole loaning him out. Actually, saying that Vélez as well. I really wanted Vélez to go to a lower Premiership or Championship team.
Yeah.
Because I think as a striker, he is a very, very talented player.
Yeah.
Who could become a very, very good player for us.
Yeah.
I wanted to see him either in the Championship at, I don't know, like a Burnley or a Leeds or a Middlesbrough, someone who's going to be up there in the Championship.
Yeah.
Or a Southampton or an Ipswich who are going to be kind of in the middle to lower regions of the Premiership.
Yeah.
What I didn't want was to see him head off to Spain again, which doesn't really do anything for us. He did that last season, got given the number 9 shirt, and I think he played, twice or something stupid?
Yeah, he didn't get played.
That was disappointing to me.
Yeah, so if we're going to look at that, then the Vélez one, for me, I'm disappointed in, because to me it feels like, he might well get game time at the loan he's on, but he's doing it in a league that doesn't really help him adapt to England, the language, the culture, everything. So there are
so different.
There were options for him. I think this one covered all of his wages, and I think the club's made a decision on that basis. Which, don't get me wrong, you arrange a loan, the player needs to push for it as well. And if the player was looking at the English teams in the Championship going, I'd rather go to Spain, you're kind of a rock and a hard place. He definitely needs games. He definitely needed a loan. Yeah. So, I just hope there is a plan in place, because Brian Gill, we never had a plan in place. He got signed. The manager that wanted him got sacked after a few weeks. And then no other managers fancied him, really. They've given him a go, but it doesn't work. And so he wants to leave. We want him to leave. No one's willing to spend the money for him, so it's just been loan after loan after loan. Now, after that initial manager that wanted him left, and the next one didn't fancy him, his loan back to Spain, I genuinely believe if we'd found him a loan in the Championship, you could well have seen a different player, because he'd have had to have learned, etc. So it's very difficult. You can never fully tell, and it is judgment calls, and who am I to do it? I'm just a fan looking at it. Transfer rumours, to be honest with you, Ryan, no, nothing. Everything I've read, there are certain players who I've... Eze was one, and then the more I've looked at that and the more I've looked at our squad, the more I just think it'd be a waste of money. I don't see...
I want Chiesa. I want the Chiesa rumour to be true. Only because I'm part Italian, and that is a player I've watched for a long time. And I'm like, when that rumour came out, I was very excited. And then it seems that everyone poo-pooed it. And I was like,
Well, it's not so much poo-pooed, it is the rumour exists because his agent's offering him to everyone. There must be a reason not one club's willing to buy him, though.
Yeah. It makes you worry, doesn't it? Like, why can a player who is that good, and he really is that, he's a very, very good player.
Yeah.
Played for the Italian team a lot, played for a lot of very good teams. If they're offering him out to everyone and no one wants him, you got to kind of go, why?
Yeah.
Like, what has happened here to make no one go, oh, that's worth a 30 million euro pont, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not sure on that. Stephen P says, have Spurs addressed last season's defensive incompetence this summer? So, oh man, does this open up a can of worms? So, defensive incompetence is an interesting concept because you look at, again, like you look at stats and things like that, it is quite. You can look at an initial stat. Ange Postecoglou said this, and I think it's interesting. If you play a game, you concede 2 goals, both from corners. Everyone will say you cannot defend corners. If, however, in that game, you had 15 corners swung in, conceding twice out of 15 doesn't suggest you have a problem. Your problem is you're conceding too many damn corners. So there is a very significant and a very interesting and more in-depth way of looking at this that I think is important. Also, you set up systems to defend set pieces, which often involves a striker coming back from the front to defend the near post. Harry Kane did it for Tottenham for the best part of a decade and did it very, very well. Last season, when Richie played, he did it very, very well. And the difference between Richie playing and not playing and our goals conceded from set pieces is night and day. It is like the ratio or XG or whatever they want to call it, like drops. Solanke did that job for Bournemouth as well. So in theory, without adding a defender in that sense, we have improved that area, but we've just not seen it in pre-season yet because we've not seen the first team really play. Van der Ven and Romero, I mean, literally came back and played in that Bayern game bits, and you know, it's been a hodgepodge at the defence.
It seemed a crazy pre-season when you think of just how many players weren't actually available for pre-season.
Yeah,
it's been mental.
It has been. So there is no way really to tell. The one thing I would say, and I want to keep reiterating it on behalf of Ange because he wants to drive it home, is that if our biggest problem, like if everyone is talking constantly about we've got a problem from set pieces and we got this and we can't defend, etc., then we've got a larger problem because the way he wants to play is on the ball, going forward, we are dominating it, we're pressing high, we're winning the ball back high. Yep. If we execute that correctly, then all of that shit isn't a concern because we're not going to have to deal with it because we are doing all this other stuff correctly and we're scoring and we are pressing high and we're winning the ball back high.
Yeah.
If a team scores from a corner, if a team scores from a free kick, well done. But we need to be above that and pushing beyond that. Now, last season, when we had the momentum early in those games, not one person was talking about the amount of goals we conceded from corners. Interestingly, we conceded just as many in that bracket as we did later in the season. But we won the games, no one gave a shit. And we looked good doing it. And it's like, oh, they got one from a corner. And never mind, it's now 3-1, not 3-0. Now, to an extent, that's the way Ange wants to play. I think a lot of our fans, and look, this isn't a criticism, but I think a lot of our fans have still got a bit of Jose and a bit of Conte drilled into them, which is you think about it, that's only natural. What was that, 3 years of kind of attrition of this kind of thou shalt not pass? Now, a guy on Twitter said this last year, and for me, look, I can only speak for me. It was the picture of us holding a high line against Chelsea with 9 men literally holding a line on the halfway line. Yes. And he tweeted that picture and he said, I would rather die holding this line than live trying to defend 11 men behind the ball in our own box. And I am 100% with that. That is me. That is, I am 100. I would rather get thumped trying to win a frigging game and playing with a full momentum than watch Jose and Conte ball again, which was awful. Like,
at no point of it was good. Like we had the odd good result, but nothing that we actually saw was like, come on. It was all kind of like,
you go week in, week out, and for the older fans will remember it with George Graham. We won a cup with George Graham, but I can tell you right now that stadium was starting to empty. There were seats available at White Hart Lane. It was dull. It was crap. It was just so boring week in, week out. It isn't what football should be. Everywhere you go, written around that stadium's to dare is to do. That's Ange. That is the way he wants to play. And we are. We
had 4 years of we don't dare to play, let alone dare to do.
So I do get why people worry about it. The press will jump all over it the minute we concede a goal from a corner or whatever. Keep in mind, the Premier League have changed the rules again.
Of course.
Goalkeepers who were impeded last, we will really crack down on it this year. We've looked at that, and that shouldn't have happened. How many goals did we concede with Vicario basically being rugby tackled to the ground?
Are Tottenham Hotspur the best team in the Premiership at getting rules changed after they have gone against us?
Oh, don't! I'm still
the handball thing.
No, the Champions League final thing still. They changed that rule before the final and changed it after. Don't get me started. No.
Yep.
No. Right. So that is the fan questions. Thank you so much to you three. Really appreciate it. It's good to be back. Great to hear your questions again. The next thing I'm going to say is every year I get a message saying, hey, you should run a Spurs News Fantasy Football League. And every year I kind of go, oh no, it's too late now. The season's going. And this year, one smartass, who will remain nameless, messaged me and gone, have you done the Fantasy Football League? Because you always say it's too late when I say, but this time it's still... And I was like, you...
Yeah, this time I'm getting it early.
I was like, you shitbag. So I was screwed with this, but luckily I have a happy helper. And Steph, you have set up a fantasy football league.
Yes, there is.
Today, tomorrow, no, it will be today. Today, I will publish that to the Facebook page.
You've got to do it early because you've got to get in, make your team before the game tonight. First game of the season, isn't it?
Well, if everyone's one game down, that's what it is. Look, it's better than last year. Right? Look, I'm doing it.
I'm in there already. Give me an extra day. I don't care. I'm in there already.
I will get it available. Anyone who wants to play, I'm going to put a team in. Steph's got a team. I'll encourage the other admins to do a team as well. And everyone who wants to be a part of a Spurs News Fantasy Football, you can get in. That'll be on the Facebook page today. The next thing I want to mention, and I'm going to try and go through these as quickly as I can because we're running out of time already. Harry Kane returned to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium with Eric Dyer. The two of them had a lovely presentation and a good reception from the fans. Yes. When the Bayern Munich friendly, Bayern won 3-2 and got to lift a little silly pre-season trophy. And there was a moment where Harry Kane, wearing the captain's armband of Bayern Munich, wearing red, decided that him lifting a trophy at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium was not something he would do. And,
that made me happy.
Yeah.
There was something inside at that moment that just kind of made me go, he's still Harry. He's still...
Yeah, that was a recognition on his behalf, I think, of how much shit every Tottenham fan would get with that image every single day for the rest of their lives.
Him wearing red, lifting a trophy
at our stadium. Yeah. So I was actually dead impressed, and it's really funny actually. Vincent Kompany afterwards said if I'd thought about it, I'd have made sure that wasn't in a position to happen. But yeah, I completely understand why he wanted to hand the armband, because his fellow players were like, what's the problem? What's wrong? And you could see him just going, nope, no.
I love it. He's him walking towards one of the players, just like shaking his head. No. You can actually see his mouth going, no.
Not doing that. No, not a chance.
No, thank you.
The next thing I just want to mention is that treacherous, snaky bastard from Argentina called Mauricio Pochettino. He's left the Premier League following his stint at Chelsea.
He's basically retired,
and has gone to manage Team USA. We have a lot of American listeners, so hello and welcome to Pockland. I'm allowed to like him again, so get your lemons ready, get rid of all the bad juju. Pochettino's going to the USA to coach them heading into the World Cup, which is going to be hosted as part of the USA. That's going to be fun. I'm well happy with that. So he's not Chelsea anymore. Off he goes.
No, do you think he's like he's gone there because of the World Cup? Like it's such a random move.
Yeah, no,
such a random move.
It's not though. When you think about his family, his love for his family in Argentina, he gets to go to America, earn insane money, actually be very close to trip. You know, UK to Argentina is a jaunt. US down to Argentina is, you know, significantly reduced.
I suppose as an international manager, you're going to be all over the world anyway. So if you want to go spend a couple of weeks at home, you can.
He gets the opportunity to coach Team USA, who have got a lot of young talented people, into a home World Cup. It's kind of one of those. Oh, that's a box tick. That's a And also he signed a contract literally for that and the World Cup. If in his mind he's thinking that's all I'm going to do, but my CV will now have an international management tick at a World Cup, should Argentina job come up. I've now got that in the bank as well, and I dare say that's something in his mind, because he's always...
I think it just surprised me, because chances are the Man United job's going to be up and available in about 3 months' time, and I always thought he'd be a good fit there. So
this is why I'm delighted. This is why I can like him again. So we're all good. Yeah, all good. Happy to. He went to Chelsea. He absolutely fucked them into the ground for us. We finished above them. He is proper Spurs. The guy's a hero again. That's the way I'm looking at it. Now,
I like it. Okay.
we did this last year, okay? We did this on our show, and we invited all of our listeners as well to join us, so I'm going to do it again. We are going to stupidly make predictions based on the new season, and we've got 5 criteria, okay? So if you'd like to get involved, what you need to do is email me your picks, and you email Sam, S-A-M, at spursnews, written as one word, .co.uk. That again is Sam at spursnews.co.uk. You message me in, title it predictions, and you need to tell me who you believe will be the top scorer for this season, who will get the most assists for the season, where we will finish in the Premier League this season, so our final place. If you think we will win a cup, yes or no, you don't have to tell me which cup or anything, just yes or no, will we win a cup this season? And I want you to predict who you think will be the standout young player, like the breakthrough player who's a youngster in around the squad, who you think is going to be like the one for the season. Now, the admin team have done their predictions. The admin team have predicted. So Polynesian Dan has said the top scorer will be Son. Top assist will be Johnson. He believes we will finish 4th in the Premier League, and yes, he believes we will win a trophy this year, and he believes the young player of the season will be Gray. Now, lovely, luscious, gorgeous Laura says top scorer Son, assist Johnson. She's put us 5th. Now, bear in mind she's engaged to be married to a Villa fan. I think she's screwed us here. I think she's putting her future husband first, and I'm not impressed with that at all. Does she think we'll win a cup? She says no. The young player, again, Gray. So she agrees a lot with Dan there, but she's put us 1 place lower at 5th, and she says
she thinks we're going to lose the final to Villa in the FA Cup.
And she says no trophy. Now, Stefan, you've written down yours. Do you want me to read this, or do you want to change any of it?
No, I've changed it.
Okay, so you believe the top goal scorer will be?
I believe top goal scorer will be Solanke.
And you believe assist will be?
Son.
Oh. Now
I put Johnson originally, and I've changed to Son.
You did. Okay, so Son for assists.
I've gone clever here. I'm thinking like, set pieces and stuff like that. Son will be whipping a lot of corners in.
All right.
I've gone for that.
League finish.
Oh, this was a struggle because I realised there is genuinely like 6 or 7 teams that could get the top 4 this season.
Yeah, it always
This,
is.
I think this is going to be one of the toughest Premier League seasons for a long time. But I do think we're going to squeak in at 4th.
Okay, and will we win a trophy this year?
I think we'll get to a semi-final.
Yes or no? Will we win a trophy? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. And young player?
It's difficult because half of our squad is like under 23. So what are you classifying as a young player? Like, if I say Van der Ven, does that count because he's young, but he's an established, played a majority of games last season? Does that count? Or are we going for, like, young, coming through player?
Like, the podcast is long enough. Just give me a fucking name, man. Jesus, it doesn't need to be this detailed. I mean, Dave, no, it doesn't. Dave, like Archie Gray. I said breakthrough. I said young breakthrough prospect. Yeah, fuck, yeah, it might be your birthday, but my God.
I just wanted to make sure, like, for the listeners' sake, I wanted to make sure I was clarifying.
You were not. You just want to win. And I've gone Solanke for top goal scorer, Johnson for assists. I've said yes, we will win a trophy. I've also said Bergvall for the breakthrough, and I've said we're gonna finish 6th.
Wow.
Yeah, and boy, keep in mind I was gonna go lower than that, and I've lifted it to 6th. Yeah,
Mate, if anything, we can always say optimism is on your side.
No. I'm gonna say I've got a horrible feeling that by Christmas we might have fired Ange. I just got this Daniel Levy's itchy trigger finger. We've finished one season out of our last 5 with the same manager.
That is the concern. That one there worries me. 1 out of 5.
So I don't trust him to let him have another bad patch, and like with the money being, I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. I just got that horrible feeling. 20 years of Enoch. We will always get in our own way. So I'm hoping I'm wrong, and I'm hoping we do well, but you look at the teams this season, the improvements all the sides are making. Our ambitions, so from Ange and so from the club, was the challenge for the title. We've not spent to do that. We've spent to stay where we are. So, and I think if you stay where you are, you go backwards. I
think that's the big problem with the Premier League. But then at the same time, you look at Liverpool haven't signed a player at all and a new manager. So are they going to get the new manager bounce, or are they going to hit?
In my humble opinion, they're in trouble. In my humble opinion, they're in trouble because they've got players who have been phenomenal for them. The back end of last season, you could tell
they all fell apart. Yeah,
they weren't quite where they were, and I think the Klopp factor for a lot of the youngsters. I think his finals. I think there was a real drive to get over the line for him. Without that, it's like that. The guy coming in doesn't know these young players. Don't know. You've got it's a weird thing. Now we could be completely wrong again, and they could be great, but I just think they've not done anything to back the new manager. He's literally dealing with Klopp's squad, who he doesn't play Klopp ball. He plays his own way. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, for us, I just don't know. I've got this weird, horrible feeling. Now, remaining window, the transfer window remains open. Sorry, there isn't any strong rumours at the moment really to talk about. So we will keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on our Facebook page because we do summaries on a pretty regular basis. The first game of the season, we are playing Monday night. So the first weekend of games, we are the final game. And we travel to Leicester City, which is a weird one, newly promoted. It'd be a Monday night. It'd be a great atmosphere at the King Power. Harry Winks against Tottenham, which is going to be really weird for me, assuming he starts, of course, because, of course, they've got a new manager and new everything there. So it's a strange one. I have got no idea because you can watch pre-season all you like, but until the season starts, really... You don't know.
You don't know what's going to happen, do you? No, there's so much that could change.
Well, we watched our start last season with a kind of, oh, wow, we are really playing some great football. and then we watch the rest of the season in like, oh, this is bad. Oh, that's good. Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is bad. This is so bad. Oh, that's better. And there were loads of reasons for that, loads of reasons. But one of the main things I'd say is squad depth and the ability to rotate. I am not convinced we have done enough in the summer to improve that. So we will see. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping a couple of bits of business are still left to be done, and it will greatly improve our first 11, which will.
And if
give us
all
that.
else fails, Mikey Moore is going to be our hero.
Well, that's no pressure for one of our own 17. Just turned 17. But that is our first show back. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. We are sponsored now. The company is called bbmakes.com. They are a personalised gift company. They're sponsoring us for the whole season, so you'll hear it every week. Check them out, please. Go on there. If you like anything, you want to buy someone a gift, put the code COYS, COYS, in, so they know you came from us, and they'll give us loads of money for it. No, they won't.
They do give you a discount if you use the code, though.
Do they? They do. That isn't in the advert.
I know.
Oh, well,
I got told. I got told afterwards by their boss.
So what is the discount they get?
5% discount on all orders using the code COYS.
Excellent. So if you got to buy a gift for someone, like it's Stefan's birthday, you want to buy Stefan a gift, you go to that website, you find something, you personalise it. There's dog bowls, I think. You can get him a nice dog bowl. Yeah, no. You can go on there. There's loads of items you can personalise. You can do different bits and pieces with. They're Perfect Gifts company. They're UK based, so it's UK only. But if you do live abroad and you find something on there you want, you can contact them to see if you can get like a one-off order to go abroad. But you have to pay for it. But yeah, so please look into that. So support our sponsor, because otherwise we won't get another one. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody. We'll be back next week to talk about the opening game and probably some amazing transfers that are going to make my prediction of 6 look stupid. Until then, everybody, you all take care.
And come on, you Spurs.
Thank you for listening to the Spurs News Podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Stay up to date with all things Tottenham. Follow us on social media. All links are in the podcast description.